All right, short lesson 2.69, bureaucracy rulemaking examples. So we're going to look at different bureaucracies and like what they actually have to do. So in terms of making rules, just to give you examples and you kind of fully understand like what a bureaucracy does. Okay, cool. When you're ready, flip over to the backside or pause until you're ready. All right, so Department of Homeland Security, they're in charge of airport security and protecting us against terrorism. So, Congress created the Department of Homeland Security and said, make our airports safe. But what they didn't say is make sure you create, these machines that you see in front of you here that you walk through that check you for dangerous weapons and whatnot. Like that wasn't written in there. But the Homeland Security came up with that rule that when you go to the airport, you have to either be patted down or you have to go through one of these things that like can literally take a picture of your body and see if you have some sort of weapon on you hidden. So that's a rule that Homeland Security came up with. The fact that you have to take your shoes off when you go to the airport before you get on a plane and put it, and it has to go through security. That's because a case happened after September 11th where a guy he put like plastic explosives inside his shoe. He was an Al Qaeda member, and then and tried to blow up his shoes on a plane. So therefore, Homeland Security created a rule that said, okay, you got to take shoes off. So there's reasons for this, and Congress doesn't have to pass a law every time for these every single one of these small changes because they've given discretionary authority to Homeland Security to protect airports. A second example of this is Department of Transportation. So this would be the second second bullet point on your card. I'm going to have one card per one bullet point per card, but before we buy each slide, I can't even talk. Each slide, so you just go ahead and put these down the list. So Department of Transportation, they are keeping highways, air travel, and trains safe. And so an example here I just use is that, the Department of Transportation has all sorts of rules on truck tires. Because if you're on the highway and a truck tire blows, like there's a potential there for that to kill you because the truck could swerve off the road and hit you. And if you get hit, you're done. All right. And so they have all kinds of rules and regulations about truck tires. So you can see here on the left-hand side, CFR 393.75. That's like a regulation, a law code. No motor vehicle shall be operated on any tire that has body ply or belt material exposed to the tread or tire sidewall, has any tread or sidewall separation, is flat, or has an audible air leak. So the point is that like they can put out rules about tires. Now, Congress did not pass those rules. Congress, it doesn't want to get into defining what a good tire and a bad tire is. They let the Department of Transportation come up with those rules. That's from delegated discretionary authority. Also notice the regulations on car transportation. See the big truck up there with the cars hanging off it, and it has specific regulations about the cargo of cars and how much they can overhang from the truck and whatnot. So there's all sorts of rules and regulations there. Department of Veteran Affairs. Obviously, this is to take care of veterans and their health care after they've retired. And this has been very controversial because there have been cases where the VA did a very bad job of this and veterans died while waiting for care. And recently, Congress passed a bipartisan bill signed in law by President Trump that allowed veterans to, if they have to wait in line at a VA hospital, that they can actually go to a private hospital and the VA has to pay for it. And that's to encourage the VA to do a better job of caring for veterans. So the point is that the VA has the power to, try to control a lot of the care that happens for veterans. Department of Education. This was a more recent department, actually was created in the 1970s. And one of the things that it's a big initiative of it is Common Core. But Common Core, each state has the choice whether or not to join Common Core. Of course, Virginia didn't join, along with a couple others like Texas. So that is example, education. This is not a real huge department, though. An agency example, Environmental Protection Agency. It's an independent agency, and of course, they've been charged. It was created in the 1970s under Nixon, and it was created with the power to clean air and clean water. And their regulations, most of their regulations are not passed by Congress. They're regulations that the EPA comes up with about, what sort of scrubbers are needed on a smokestack so that way particles don't get into the air, or what sort of level of protection water runoff has. So those are regulations passed by EPA under discretionary authority, delegated discretionary authority. And then the Federal Election Commission, another commission, we talked about the FCC in the last card, but now we're looking at the Federal Election Commission. And you probably can guess their purpose is to control campaign contributions to politicians. So they regulate and keep track of who is giving money to politicians. And they do this obviously because they want to make sure that there are not unethical bribes being given to politicians to vote a certain way or do certain things. So this is the FCC. That was, again, created by Congress to oversee elections and making sure that they're fair and ethical. And then the last one for the card is the Security and Exchange Commission. Again, another commission. And the SEC is in charge of making sure that stocks are traded and that's fair, and that companies are not, putting out false information to make their stocks go up, and kind of ripping off potentially the public. So the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, is again watching over the stock market and Wall Street. All right, so those are all departments and agencies and commissions that you need to understand and know. And it's probably very common that you could read an article on an essay, or even something on a multiple choice question that could have one of them on there. So these are definitely expected that you know these. So go ahead and study those. Make sure you know what the initials all stand for and what the department's job is. Thank you.